Hello, this is Jacen of MoonLightGang here. This is a different type of video. I'm actually alone right now, and this is going to be under Moonlight Stories, or Moonlit Story Time, that's what it's called. Um, Today is sort of different. I'm going to tell a story of my own life. Don't worry, it's going to be kind of funny. It's going to be kind of long. This is sort of like in the same podcast style of video. I'll probably just be a little bit of rant. Well, not really a rant, but just story time. Today it will be about, you probably saw in the video title, it will be about my MMO childhood, and I'm pretty sure a lot of kids played MMOs as a child. It's kind of weird to think about it. I was one of those kids who didn't really have money, so I played a lot of the free-to-play games, which they all sucked. I'm not going to lie, every last one of them sucked. I think I started playing RuneScape, which I played a lot of RuneScape, like, oh my god. I think all I remember is I had mithril armor and a full set of armor, and that's pretty much all I remember from that. I actually think I found this guy, and the only reason I found him was because he sort of became my mentor and taught me the game, and eventually he disappeared one day. But yeah, that's that. He he just disappeared one day. It was great, but I need to get back on track. This is gonna be me just getting like off topic completely. He found me, he sort of became my mentor, and he taught me how to play the game and all that. The only reason he found me, though, is because my name was like one number away, because I was a child, and I was like, oh, I can't use my name? Okay, I'll just put a number at the end of it. Bam, I outsmarted them. Haha! Avast +1. But I think like mine had a 9 at the end, and his had an 8. And so we were like one number off, and it was like amazing. It's pretty cool, though. All I remember, like, after that, though, was sort of my end game grinding. I don't remember if there's anything I could get beyond Mithril, because I think everything beyond Mithril was really expensive, or just members only. So, I ended up just grinding at, like 2 different spots. I mined a lot in this one cave in the desert, and I killed a lot of hill giants for their bones, which sounds really creepy, but I don't care. Then there's also, then I also fished. For some reason, there's a thing with me and fishing in games. Fishing and mining, that's usually what I do. Especially fishing. Jesus Christ, I've fished a lot. I got like mercury one time for fish. Anyway. That's for later. Then after that, I went to this game called Aurora Blade. I don't remember much from RuneScape. That was pretty much it. Actually, before I go to Aurora Blade, which that game was, holy shit, that game was a lot. That game was bad, but a lot of stuff happened on it. There was this one time when I was playing RuneScape when I got invited to a drop party in the forest, or the wildy, or whatever it's called. And if you don't know, that is the only place in the game you can be player killed without your permission. So yeah, it was a kind of nuts. Like, oh my god. Before I'm getting off topic again. It's gonna keep happening. Don't worry, guys. This is a rant style video. I don't know if you want to play a game while playing this. I probably won't even have pictures in this video. I really should find a place to put these podcasts. I intend to do more or podcast style videos. I'm staring at Audacity right now. I actually accepted the offer to go into the Wildy with these guys, and of course it was a bunch of noobs, like all in copper armor and all that, and then me and my full set of mithril. I was a young kid at the time, so I didn't know they were trying to trick me and kill me. And like eventually, once we got deep enough so they could actually hurt me because of the level difference, him and his like partner came out and attacked me. I just ran off and I was like, oh well, Jesus fuck, that was close. I don't even know how I got out of that. It was stupid. Anyway, that was pretty much the last thing I remember about RuneScape. I was bored as hell while playing RuneScape, and some guy actually hacked my account, and I know who it was. It was a kid on my bus. It wasn't really hacking, actually. I gave him my password because he wanted to impress a girl on RuneScape. Can I just ask you how stupid that is? Can I just say that's how stupid that is? I can't even speak. It's so stupid. I had to impress the lady, my lady. So yeah, that was RuneScape. I actually thanked him on the bus. And I was like, man, thank you. I would have never quit that game if you hadn't stopped me. And then later on, I moved to Aurora Blade. I think I was around 10 when I played RuneScape. Yeah, a lot of kids played when they weren't supposed to, but that's sort of how the internet works. After that, I went to Aurora Blade, and that game is the shittiest game you will ever see. It actually doesn't exist anymore, I think. I'll have to check after this, but it's like a pure browser MMORPG. You click on stuff, you press the buttons, and you use the skills, and the graphics kind of suck. And actually, the area maps were kind of cool, but they got old really quickly. And clicking on numbers is annoying. Like, you had to click on a number to go to the next spot on the map, and then you had to keep doing that for all the spots on the map. And if you were trying to get somewhere quickly, it was annoying. I don't know, maybe I'm missing the point, but so that game was really weird. I don't remember a lot of the early stuff. I just remembered like freaking world chat. The game was sort of like a close-knit community because it kind of sucked. Although it did get like oh, this is the top 5 browser-based MMOs, and I can kind of see why, because all of them kind of sucked back then, but there are a couple good ones right now, but I don't really play any because I can just play a normal MMO, like Secret World, which is awesome. Anyway, oh my god, that game was weird, and then it only gets weirder the longer I go on. Like, I intend to tell the full story. Oh my god. Okay, well, I'm just gonna do a little bit of a jump, and I'm gonna jump forward and then jump back a couple steps. In Aurora Blade, it ended up being that I had to, well, not only me, but basically the rest of the server had to fight off the Mafia and the Taliban at the same time. And I don't know, that's fucking weird. The freaking name was Big Boss, and I can't remember the guy who led the Taliban, but he's probably not important. Like, the freaking guys who led those guilds were dicks. Anyway, I'm gonna do a jump back. I played a lot of Aurora Blade board, and in all honesty, I'm kind of glad that the Mafia and Taliban came, because they were pretty interesting and fun. It was funny. The game did suck, and like, I'm trying to think where I should start. I didn't really think of where to start for Aurora Blade. I know where to start for my third game, which is really the last one that I played for a long time. I don't know. I guess I should begin at the new server. All I knew is that all the high levels hated me. Like, I don't remember why, but they all just hated me. Every single one of them. Well, there was one or two. I think I had a couple of GM friends, Game Master friends. And I knew people in high places. But I also knew people who hated me in high places, so I guess that sort of evens out. I know there's this one guy who, a new server was created, and I jumped on that bandwagon because my character sucked as, like, ass. He was the worst. He was a mage who had freaking... he was a mage who had, like, a lot of MP. He had more MP than he had health. And no, he was a warrior. Did I say mage? I really hope I didn't say mage. He was a warrior. And so no one wanted to raid with me. Like, every time I got into a raid with somebody, I'd always die. And they'd just leave me. It was kind of funny, but it was depressing as well. But, oh my god. Freaking the raids. The raids was bad. Like, they spawned on a timer, so if you weren't lucky... And it's not like it was, like, every 6 hours or so. The timer was weird. I think it might have been, like, an odd number, so it never spawned at the same time. And if you were lucky, you got in it, but if you weren't, then you didn't. And it was just really random. But everyone hated me on the server. There's this one guy on the new server who... I had the name Jacen LOL. That was actually the first time I used that name. So, you know, the history of Jacen. And he stole my name. He was Jacen LOL. So, in order to actually use my name, because I wasn't original enough to come up with a new one, I just used Jacen LOLs with like a Z at the end. Because, you know, that's the hip thing. So, I eventually had like a confrontation with him, and he became I don't know who exactly it was. It could have been like 2 or 3 different people. It might have just been a group of them hating on me, but that's conspiracy theories. I'm gonna actually move my phone away from the I just threw my phone on the floor. I don't want it to go off and make that annoying noise it does, because I've been talking to people on Bungie. I actually got into a fight with someone on Bungie, but that's fine. That's fine. I won't go into detail. This is about MMOs. I was really lucky in that game. Like, you can plus 5 items, and that requires these things called God's Amulets and money and all that stuff. And for some reason, I somehow got, like... There's my phone. I somehow managed to... Every time someone asked me if they could, like, Jacen, can you help me plus 10 or plus 5 an item? And I was like, sure. First time, plus 5. whenever I tried to do it myself, I would always fail on 3 or 4. Like, I could never get to +5, and it was depressing. I don't know. It was weird. Every time I tried to help someone else out, it was like, "Yep, you did it. You good, fine, fantastic." Oh, that was probably loud. I don't care. And that was that. I'm trying to like think. The Taliban sucked. They were jerks. The Taliban and the thing. I remember like I actually wrote an essay on this. I wrote an essay on my MMO adventures. Oh my god, they were stupid. It was an essay on gangs, and I wrote it on the Taliban and the Mafia. Because, in all honesty, one of my class periods is sort of dying. This is very recent. One of my class periods is dying, because I was just like, alright, let's write about gangs. I was wrote about the Mafia and the Taliban, and, I don't know if I'm going to exactly quote myself, but in general, what I wrote was, so I ran away from the Mafia and the Taliban, and whenever I would get cornered, I would whisk away on a wooden dragonfly. I don't know, I'm surprised I'm not, like, in a insane asylum. I'm super surprised. Rollerblade was sort of interesting, like, especially if I get into my own drama, which I'm going to. That was fucking weird. So I was a little kid. I think I was about 12 at this time, so, like, a year or two had passed. It depends. I think I played for about a year, so maybe a year and a half. Maybe a half a year, not a year and a half. So, like, I got to know a lot of people and stuff. And I think the game is down now, so you can't really go check it out anymore. But the next one isn't, and I'm super surprised. But anyway, moving on. A lot of the people I knew were kind of weird. And I don't know, we had weird talks in world chat. But that's usually how it is for him. I was like, oh, the weird chat. I got a message from Bungie. It's probably that guy. It's fine. He's probably angry at me and telling me stuff. This is the first fight I've gotten to on Bungie. Oh man, he sent me like multiple messages. Probably full of hate. All of it hate. What was I gonna say? Oh wait, that's my phone restarting, so it could be just the old ones. Anyway. Freaking. What were some? Oh yeah, let's just go and delve into my drama. I'm not gonna like list the names of anybody, of course, but this is some weird shit. I was 12. Like I said before, 12. But I'm actually to 12 minutes, so that's kind of funny. I was 12, so I didn't know what love was. I didn't know what marriage really meant or what dating meant. So I was just like, all right, sure, you want to get married? I don't mind. Let me go buy the 50 silver wedding ring. And I had like 10 gold, so that was nothing. They were super expensive ones, but I couldn't afford them. Like, I think 100 gold. So I'd often get married and then divorce out of, like, spontaneity. And the only time... I remember I married, like, a couple people, but I can't remember most of them. So, you know, that's that. But I remember this one person who, like, I got married to, and then she had alts and alternate characters. Because that was sort of how you played the game you're supposed to, because if you weren't playing with 4 people on the same computer, you kind of weren't doing good. Which, that was why I kind of sucked. But, what was it? She, what happened was, like, one of her friends was depressed, so it was like, can I marry him? And so we can be the friends, but I'll still be the one you're with. And I didn't understand anything, so I was like, sure, I don't even know what you mean, but go on ahead. And what ended up happening is she left me for the other guy, and I was just looking back on it, I was like, that was a funny situation. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I just find that hilarious. Anyway, that was pretty much that. Like, that was the weirdest thing that happened. I guess there was that one time when, like, I don't remember actually how that went. I'm not going to talk about it unless I can't remember it, but a lot of this stuff is just old stuff that I'm sort of remembering from bits and pieces of things that happened. I'm just going to stop talking about Rollerblade. It kind of sucked. I'm going to go on to Wonderland. Wonderland is a game that still exists. Well, RuneScape still exists, but no one cares about RuneScape anymore. Except, like, the thousands of people who still play it, which I'm kind of surprised. Anyway. Freaking Wonderland, like, it's a weird game in itself, and I'm not going to say it was born from a bad idea, but it's terribly implemented. Like, for most people, they'll get the game, and they'll think that there's sort of some difficulty spikes, but, oh man, they do not know. So once you get to, I'm going to say level 30 or level 20, and get by this troll monster in the cave, everything spikes in difficulty, and you have to grind to level 100s or 80s, like in that general range. I think the max level is either 200, I think. I don't know, it's been a while. And after, like, freaking... Jesus Christ. I hate the way this game was made, or the game was, the level up system, because you have to get to, like, level 100. And that is literally not playing the game. The best way to get experience is, I don't know, it seems like a glitch, but I think it was implemented on purpose. You have to do this, like, these exact series of events, which include, like, shrinking an enemy, doing some sort of other stuff, and all the... It requires different elements, which is how the game worked. You chose an element at the beginning, and that was your sort of your skill tree and events. It wasn't necessarily a class, because every class could do a thing. Do certain things, like be passive and whatever. But there were certain elements that were better than the other ones at being certain things, like healers. Water is healing. But, like, for bursting is what it was called. Freaking, like, you needed fires, and they all had to be at 0 speed. Which is not fun. Because in order to do it, you had to buy these things called weights. And weights cost real money. If you didn't get, like, 3 million gold like I did, which that took forever and a half. And I got that for selling grape syrup. And I sold so much grape syrup. So much grape syrup. Yeah, I'll actually get to the crafting system in a second. But I actually really like the crafting system. It took a while, and then bursting is, like, really weird. And the way you're supposed to burst is, you're supposed to leave your computer on all night. And I hate that. This game had a lot of stuff where you're supposed to leave your computer on all night in order for the best results, I suppose. There's this vacuum that you could, like, vacuum at a spot, and you just get materials for, like, hours on end. And it was better than killing monsters because they had low drop rates and all that jazz. But the materials were used to improve upon your house. And that was probably my favorite aspect of the game. I loved making stuff for my house, although it was hard to actually get materials because some of them were really high level and hard to get. But I had a lot of fun with it. I made, like, I don't even think I ever made a vehicle, but if I did, it would have been pretty cool. You could go to real life places in the world, like China and Japan and China. It was mostly Asian places. I think you could go to the United States and find Paul Revere. I think you could get George Washington on your team. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure you can. I just remember there's a lot of made-up characters as well, like an angel and some other stuff, but there's, like, a couple real characters. I don't remember. It's been a while since I played. But the game had... I liked the market for the game. It was pretty cool. You could, like, go to this place called the Carney, set your tent down, and just leave it there for people to come by and buy stuff. You'd have to make shelves, but... They were too difficult. They were just time-consuming. Which everything in this game seemed to be time-consuming, so that's a trend. Which I'd understand that, and I'd stare at my screen for 20 minutes while I made, like, a piece of iron. Go me. I'm a genius kid right here. I really didn't like the game. I know I've said that before, but it just got really grindy. Really, really grindy. And I think I'm going to argue and say that game had the weirdest community. Absolutely the weirdest community I've ever seen. In an MMO, at least. Like, alright, so I used to fish, and this is where fishing was, like, intensifies, because I used to fish all the time on World Beach, or the starting beach, which is where, like, all the new players spawn, and a lot of other people hung out at that spot. And I would just fish there for hours and hours and hours for no reason, because fishing gave you fish, and fish sucked. You could make sushi out of it, but they weren't, like, skill levels, so there's no point, because they didn't really heal a whole lot. You're better off making syrup, which is what I did to make money, so, you know. But, oh my gosh. And, like, people on... For instance, this one thing came to mind. One time I was on World Beach, and someone was, like, shaving another person's asshole. I don't know why. I don't know what. That's just what happened. Also, my chair is creaky. My chair is super creaky. I'm not even fat. I don't know why my chair creaks so much. Probably because I kick it. It might be a reason. Other times, like, just weird stuff has happened in this game. I've like this weird drama. There's this person who called burgers, and I don't even remember. I think the weirdest thing that happened to me was one day I was sitting in my tent, and my tent's a mess because I don't have a lot of room in it. One day I was just sitting in my tent making something. This girl from my guild walks in and was like, "Oh hey, what's happening?" She sits down on one of my cushions because I made those, but they were like in the opposite corner, so it was funny. It was awkward. And then all of a sudden, she just comes out and says, "I like being tied up." I was, okay, good for you. I forgot how exactly I responded, but that is just the general things that happened in that game. Nothing made sense and everything was weird. If you don't believe me, the game is still up. The game is still up and running. All like 8 servers. I'm not kidding. I don't know how there's that many servers. And there hasn't been like, have there been updates for the game? My one of my friends actually occasionally goes back to the game just because he's made a couple of friends from it. I sort of didn't make many friends. I was a guild hopper. I hopped from guild to guild and tried to help them gain power. Or just help them level and stuff. I never actually got beyond level 100 because bursting was such bullshit. And I never bought this, in order to actually burst, you had to have this remote. I think it's called the universal remote, but I might be wrong. It was stupid because the universal remote, what was it? Like, I'm trying to think of the way to put it. The universal remote was, it basically did a fought for you automatically, which basically meant you were grinding automatically with, no real point. I don't know. I really do find it pointless if you can just get it. You're supposed to pay for it, but a lot of people found out you can just cheat and hack, and yeah, that's what everyone did. This might not have been as good as I thought it would be, but I'm bad at telling stories, and that's why. So if you want to hear more of these stories, please leave a like below and a comment if you have, I don't know, an idea, because this is sort of like a one-off thing. I don't really know what else I'm going to be doing for this. I might just put some weird picture up as the video thing and like credit whoever drew it. I might just do like bad MMOs. But yeah, nowadays I just play like good MMOs. Like The Secret World, for example. That's a great MMO. I played Warframe for a while and I don't think that's a wonderful MMO, but it certainly has some good aspects about it. Destiny. I play Destiny now, which that can be considered an MMO even though they don't want to admit it is. It has a lot of MMO elements, but there isn't like a place where you can see every player. What other games did I play? I played a lot of free-to-play games like 2 summers ago, but then I started getting out of that because a lot of free-to-play games, if you don't want to spend money on them, then they're just time sinks, like really big time sinks. My phone just went off. That's weird. I wonder why. Anyway, I probably should stop because that might be important. Who knows? Thank you guys for watching. If you, like I said before, if you want to hear more of these, just please leave a like. I don't have a problem with doing these. I literally have no problem telling stories from my life that I don't, like, I'm not going to get into super personal details, but, I wonder whatever happened to that girl that said she likes being tied up. I can't get behind that, or around that. That was just like, I was just sitting in my tent, just like, okay. Okay. Alright, I'm cool. Okay. I guess. You know, that's a thing. Alright, let's go. I'm going to end this at exactly 24 minutes. Can I do it? Can I do it? It's probably going to be, if it's 1 minute, like there's one bonus minute, or 1 bonus second on YouTube, so I got to end it at 59, which is right about now.